Today's episode is sponsored by Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas, one of Dallas-Fort Worth's premier cigar lounges. If you haven't been there yet, go check it out. Off of I-75 and Arapahoe, it has one of the largest humidors in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, filled with some of the best cigars on the planet. They also have a beautiful lounge you can sit at and enjoy your cigar. So go visit Matt and the crew at Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge, located at 1002 North Central Expressway, Suite 589 in Richardson, Texas. And hey, if you're not in the area, give them a call at 972-761-9903. That number again, 972-761-9903. Hey everybody, this is Brandon Luna with Cigars and Cinema, Love to Hate, and Kiefer for Prez. Today's episode is sponsored by Nat Sherman Premium Cigars. With such great cigars in their lineup as the 93 rated Timeless Dominican, 92 rated Timeless Nicaraguan, 96 rated Host Maduro, and the brand new 91 rated Metropolitan Habano, every time you reach for a Nat Sherman, you're going to get a quality cigar. So ask for Nat Sherman Premium Cigars at your local cigar lounge. You won't be disappointed. Hey everybody, this is Brandon Luna.
Randy Rankin.
And this is Kiefer for Prez.
Kiefer for Prez.
Yes, sir, Bobtail Cat. What's that from?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? I may have just made that up. No, I think it's from the Iger Sanction with Clint Eastwood.
God, I haven't seen that in a long time.
A very long time,
So where they sanctioned those Igers?
They did, yes.
Okay, I remember that now.
Also from that was Rise and Shine, good buddy.
Oh, was that from there too?
That was from that too, yeah. My dad used to say those all the time, so that's where I got it from. But anyway, Kiefer for Prez, episode 4. And this
Designated Survivor.
Sir Kiefer, yeah. What you said. Yeah, okay. Well, just got to be
not a show called
all
Kiefer
in the
for Prez.
There should be that. Especially now.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we're a little bit behind. Sorry about the delay. We were trying to do a show week, and our schedules are that we're basically out of town a lot. So between Randy and I being out of town, it just wasn't able to happen. So We're catching up. We're playing catch up a little bit here on Kiefer for Prez.
Yep.
So that's just the way it goes, though. But, the show is making strides. They're doing things. They're kind of stepping off the page a little bit as far as the general total story of the show. It seems like they're finally starting to get into doing some things that deal with his presidency. Not so much in episode 4, but when you get into like episode 5 and 6, then they're definitely kind of stepping into other things to kind of extend the show, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
So this episode was called The Enemy, and it opens with a double agent sending a message out about Majid Nassar, and he ends up getting tased and dragged off. So that's the start of the show. What'd you think of that start of the show?
Yeah, it's a good way to start it. Gets you going.
Yeah,
kind
nice.
of a little adrenaline rush at the beginning.
Yeah, kind of reminded me of 24. I'm like, it's going to be action-packed like 24.
Right, no.
Not so much. Not so much. This is definitely more of a drama than 24 is. But, the first thing I heard of when that guy got tased was like, don't tase me, bro. Remember that video way back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Aaron and Kirkman are catching up, and it seems the nation is healing slightly, which is nice. And he has his first meeting with Hook Stratton, and she questions him about being weak and not doing anything about Nassar. And he basically bitch slaps her with, you don't have clearance to tell me what to do anymore, or something like that. So
basically.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, she's really becoming a pain in his ass.
Yeah, she is. So that's the foil of the show, I think, for the most part,
exactly.
At least what we've seen so far. Aaron and Emily decide they need to go to Michigan to deal with Governor Royce, and because basically he doesn't cater to him because he's like, he's fired, he's not my president,
right?
Which is kind of funny based on what's happening right now with the whole Trump thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Very much in a not my president kind of fact about life in this world.
It's kind of interesting that they're tying some of that in.
Yeah,
without even knowing.
Without knowing. This was a couple of weeks before this. So
exactly.
This is before it even happened. But now we're dealing with that on a different level. So it's kind of interesting. So General Cochran comes in with a bombshell. They found Majid, which is cool. And so they're basically deciding at this point what the heck to do and where we're going to go with this. So we're going to attack these guys or we're going to not.
Right.
Kirkman has to make some hard decisions, and a little bit later they kind of make them without him. But the FBI, on the FBI side of things, McLeish goes home. Hannah tries to convince her boss that McLeish is crooked, so she goes to talk to the guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So, they go meet with the generals. He decides, I don't want to bomb because there's one of our guys there, which I thought was a bad move. Personally, what did you think?
Well, I think in real life, I don't know that that would be as big a deal. I think you do what you have to do and collateral damage and that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
on a TV show, they have to make it softer.
Yeah.
But, and they're really trying to show that Kiefer wants to think everything through before he just reacts.
Yeah.
He's not a knee-jerk kind of character.
Like our current president, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. He tries to go with the diplomatic approach and talk to him and say, hey, can you guys go, arrest this guy?
Right.
And
Right.
I thought that was kind of a weak move on his part. He does toughen up by the end of this episode, definitely.
Right.
Governor Royce meets with Emily and quotes Reagan and tells her to
Yeah,
leave.
that kind of annoyed me. Don't have the bad guy quote Reagan. No joke.
What was the quote? It was like,
I'm with the government and I'm here to help or something like that.
Yeah, two things you don't want to hear from someone.
Yeah.
I'm with the government and I'm here to help. Yeah.
Right.
So that was kind of cool. FBI, on the FBI side of things, Hannah meets with McLeish, confronts him about leaving his seat. The wife sent him text because her daughter was missing at the mall. She sent him a ton of texts, apparently, and he left to go check his phone. And she thinks it still sounds kind of shady.
Right.
But then she does go look at his phone records and finds out that he did, in fact, receive a bunch of texts
right.
at about that time that he said, that they were receiving them. So she
right.
kind of, at that point,
right.
backs off and says, okay, I'm just crazy. I'm going to step away from this. Mm-hmm. He's right. I'm just, stressed out because I lost my boyfriend / married guy that I was dating.
Right.
And this is not for me. So, yeah. But that's the way that goes. So, on the family side of things, Kirkman's wife gets a call from one of her clients about being deported and uses Hook Stratton as a favor to save her. A little bit of a bad move there.
Yeah.
I think that's going to come back to bite her.
Yeah, I think so at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good to see Alex still in the fray and still kind of doing things as part of the show.
Right.
I kind of figured that she was going to get put aside and
right.
the family thing would go away, but
right.
they're still trying to address it. Press secretary, guy is a mess, and Seth is called upon to take his position. He steps in during one of the interviews and took over, and the newbie walked off, and he basically killed it.
Yeah.
So the chief of staff goes over there and says, hey, I want you to take this job. He's like, why? Because I'm brown, and he basically turns it down, which I thought was pretty funny. And on the Michigan side of things, Emily can't leave. Governor Royce decides to throw Kirkman under the bus, and Kirkman decides to federalize Michigan National Guard to help with the help of his wife. And Kirkman calls in the order, and they refuse it.
Yeah,
which is pretty bold.
Yeah,
pretty
borderline
bold.
treason there.
Yeah. Oh,
sedacious. That was the word they used last night.
Sedacious.
Yeah.
So Kirkman talks to the president of Algeria. He won't admit Nassar is there. He won't help. He's got a 12-hour window to bomb Algeria to get a hold of Cigar, basically.
Right.
At this point, Aaron meets with the Hook Stratton. She reminds him Governor Royce and her are friends. She confronts him about leaking the video, and he admits it. And she basically says that he's an asset and insults President Kirkman, saying that he's a footnote in history.
Right.
And you're attaching yourself to a footnote. She is a bitch.
She is a bitch.
Yeah. Aaron and Emily are flirting back and forth. Saw that coming.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Emily pushes protesters to go straight to Governor Royce's, and Emily convinces Governor Royce to go to Washington with her to have a face-to-face with Kirkman. Smart move on her part. I thought that was pretty good for her to be involved like that and to bring the fight to him so he can really see what's going on.
Right.
And that was a smart move on her part. Unfortunately, Kirkman kind of uses it to his advantage later.
Yeah.
General Cochran pulls rank and starts the war. Kirkman freaks out and fires him.
Right.
Which, what do you think about that? What did you think about that?
I like the scene, from a political standpoint. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know if a general would actually really start a war without the president.
Yeah.
The commander-in-chief has to give the go-ahead.
Right.
You know, but, it makes for good TV. I liked it.
Yeah. I think, in honesty, based on Kirkman's character at that point, I don't know that he would have fired him. He would have been like, okay, well, maybe you need to take that break and go away, okay? Because, I'm not really a strong president.
What they've shown with Kirkman so far is that he tries to do the right thing at the beginning, but anything that looks like he's getting undermined, he will stop that because he really knows he needs to set a tone.
Yeah.
And, and if you're not going to respect him, then he can't have you around.
Yep.
So that made sense in that regard.
And then the bomb drops on the show. This is the biggest one. Royce arrives to Washington after Emily on the plane was telling him, "Oh, he's a great guy. He's really, you're going to love him. He's very, presidential, and he's going to really talk to you about it. He's very fair and honest." And all of a sudden, Kirkman goes, "Bam! Guess what, bitch? Treason."
You're under arrest.
You're under arrest for treason, which I was like, whoa,
That was
when I
awesome.
saw that. Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Kirkman finally grew a pair.
Yep.
And did something that shows him and the world that he's not here to mess around and he's here to do the right thing.
Right.
So Kirkman and Emily have it out pretty bad. Pushes Emily to drink with Aaron, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kirkman finally approaches Seth about the press secretary job and convinces him to take the job.
Right.
Which is great. He's great at it, so I was glad to see him do that. It gives him his first press secretary speech, kills it. On the FBI side of thing, Hannah gets a call, and it's one of those, endings that you're like, what?
Yeah.
Find room 105, and you'll know more about McLeish. And she's like, what?
Right.
So, And in the very last moment of the show, Kirkman goes to war. So,
absolutely.
Cool ending to the show.
Cool.
And it, again, goes back to what we talked about it being a network show, and they always have to have that cliffhanger ending and get you to come back next week, and that's exactly what they did.
Exactly.
So. But, good episode overall. It was kind of for me, it was a weird up and down for Kirkman. It seemed like he was really weak at the beginning, really strong in some parts, weak again, strong again.
Yeah.
So it was kind of odd, but I guess it makes sense given that he's in that position.
And he's inexperienced.
Yeah.
And everything's new to him. So he's gonna face things differently each time.
Yeah.
At least I could see that happening.
And I like that he's leaning on his wife for things, too. He did have that conversation with her before she went to Hook Stratton saying, be careful. She's a little wily, and she's going to, yes, she can help you, but keep in mind that there's going to be consequences.
Right.
And she does it anyway. So, we'll see how that bites her.
Out.
How that bites her in the butt.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not a Cal Penn fan. Mm-hmm. I still think of him from Harold and Kumar and such, And he was a terrorist on 24 one year, and so I still think of him that way. But he's really doing a good job in this role. I give him credit for it. He does come across very much the character he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He brings a gravitas to it that I really respect.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, so so I'm liking him in this show.
I kind of wondered how he is on the set. He's like, I have previous presidential...
I've done this before, so you guys shut up.
You guys need to let me do my thing. I'm awesome. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in here and smoke some weed.
I got President Obama's number on my cell phone.
Right. Yeah. You got to know that he's going to be that way a little bit. Huh? Oh,
yeah.
But, I'm loving Kiefer in this role. I would really like to see Kiefer in the White House over our current president, unfortunately. But it is what it is. What can you do?
You keep referring to him as our president. He's not been inaugurated yet.
I know, but he's going to be.
When you say our president, I'm thinking of the president who is also worthy of being ripped as well. So
well,
if you're going to rip the real one, too.
Well,
and I'm doing that tongue-in-cheek, but I'm just saying.
No, yeah, I get it. I get it.
But, so far, I like the show. Do I love it? No, but I like it a lot, and it's keeping my interest. So I'm going to keep watching. Even if we weren't doing the podcast, I would still watch the show.
Yeah. I think it's been good so far. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep this short and sweet, people. We talked about this earlier. We don't think that the podcast about the show shouldn't be as long as the show.
Right.
So we're just going to keep it short and sweet for you and give you a good 12, 15 minutes of content for you to kind of get our opinions on where the show is going. I like how they're incorporating the family stuff. I'd like to see less of the son and more of the wife. I think that story is a little better for me.
I'm a little ahead of you, so I know some things that you don't know.
Son of a bitch. All right, so we'll see. But thanks for listening. You can find us on Spreaker and iTunes, and we're on YouTube as well. And don't forget to check out our other shows. We got Cigars and Cinema, which is also on iTunes, Spreaker, Podomatic, all that jazz.
Right.
And we've got Love to Hate as well. You can check out as well with me and Phil. And that one's more of just a social commentary on stuff that annoys us. Whereas Cigars and Cinema is mostly movie reviews while we're smoking cigars and guy talk. So,
and then the older stuff is the Calypso Cigar
review. Yep. Which
like 300 episodes of that for you to go back and peruse.
Correct. All right. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you later, Brandon.
See you later, Randy.